Hey everybody, welcome to my weekly messages. I'm Jalailah Starr. Before I begin today's topic, I wanted to address a concern that I've been receiving from numerous people regarding my decision to phase out of the Neighborhood Council work. First of all, I want you to know up front, I'm not going to abandon you. I've had people say, I'm grieving, you're leaving. Or, this is a funny one, did you get fired by the Neighborhoods? Either way, thank you for the concern. Listen, I know that these are the most difficult times, and I will still be around. I'm just not going to be as visible, partially for safety reasons. And I'm not going to keep hitting this 100% because it gets me too exposed. Every time I post a weekly message and I use YouTube video, it goes viral. And that's a lot of exposure. And I was told that to stay more under the radar now. And so just read between the lines there. The other thing is, for those of you, because I'm not going to be using video as much, if you want to know what the weekly messages are about, then you need to get to my website and you need to sign up for the on the Neighborhood Council mailing list so that you can get my weekly messages. Well, it's free. You don't have to pay anything, but you need to get over there and get that done because it's very rare that I'm going to be using video from this point on. Now, on to today's message. I want to talk to you about what's going on with Iran and now with Syria, and how this is a technique that the U.S. is doing, the U.S. government, not all the people in the U.S. government, just the global elite within the U.S. government, is using as part of a bigger plan to gain control of all these oil-producing countries. The reason that they're doing it is because our economy stays afloat as a result of it being the global reserve currency and the one used to trade for oil. So in other words, all these countries have to trade oil for U.S. dollars. So that props up our economy and keeps our current prices where they are. But as you know, because of all the collapse of the economy back in 2008, because of the mortgages, all the bad mortgages and whatever, that is all part of a problem that's somewhat systemic. And the fact that our global economy cannot continue to run on this fiat currency system, and it's about to collapse. But the powers that be, for whom it is really serving, want to keep it going. So part of what they're doing here, because a lot of them are in the United States, is they're trying to force these Middle Eastern countries to continue using a currency which basically is fake. It has no value to speak of, to keep trading oil for dollars, and yet there's other countries whose currencies are much stronger, like Russia and China, that would be better for them. So what's happening is, just like with Iraq, it's all about the money. Saddam Hussein, who used to be a good buddy of all these powers that be, decided one day he was going to start trading oil for something other than dollars, and we said, and he said, well, yeah, I am anyway, and guess what? He got invaded. Now, the president of Iran is doing the same thing, and guess what we're saying? And so we're trying to invade him, except we in the United States, American citizens are a lot more savvy about what's going on, and we're saying, we're not going for that. Then, of course, Syria, who is also saying, yeah, I'm going to do the same thing too, we're now trying to do that. So here's how it's working. I want you to become aware of this technique that these powers that be are using. It's called problem, reaction, solution. David Icke has talked about it tremendously. Foster Gamble, who is from the powers that be, who is kind of defecting like a lot of their ranks, because he realizes that their agenda of global domination and human enslavement is not really the best thing. He is putting out a video called Follow the Money, and I'm giving you the link to that. And I love this because he's able to share this in a way that most mainstream people will be open to. Where David Icke gets kind of angry and furious and shuts in, that it just freaks people out sometimes, even though he has fantastic information. So here's the technique. They create the problem because these countries have decided they're not going to use oil for dollars. And and the first things you'll start hearing on the news is, oh, these people have a nuclear program, or they have a nuclear weapon, or they're creating a nuclear weapon. And then the next thing you'll hear is that, oh, there's terrorists in their country. And that leads to, well, these terrorists hate the United States, so therefore they might get a hold of these nuclear weapons and use them against the United States. So if that doesn't create enough uproar for us that we might get bombed with a nuclear bomb by some terrorists in Iran or whatever, then they go to then they'll continue on. And in the meantime of sharing all this stuff about the nuclear war and the weapons, they are going to go in there and instigate rebellions against the leaders of these countries. And then where they're going to make certain that our media is over there to film the leaders putting down these rebellions and say, well, these leaders are just crazy. They're just massacring their people. They're torturing them, blah, da, 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 da. And that would cause us to go, oh, something's got to be done. Not only is this guy got nuclear weapons and terrorists in his country, but he's crazy and he might decide to use those himself and hit the United States. So that's what they're trying to do, to get us to go in there and attack these countries. But guess what's happened? We're waking up. We're not interested in another Iraq. We're not interested in killing thousands of our own people, not to mention the tens of thousands that will be injured or killed in those countries, innocent people, all over oil to keep a system together that is causing us to be enslaved economically. We're losing our homes. We're going hungry. A lot of people are living in the streets, and our great-grandchildren will be paying off the debts that keep these powers that be running around in their Rolls Royces, eating in five-star restaurants, and flying around in their private planes. No. We have to bring this down. We have to end this. So here's what I want you to do. Be aware of how this is happening in the U.S. Be aware, even when you watch the news, you'll see it in play. Read between the lines. Number 2, spread this video. Spread all, and this is one time that I'm saying spread it. I'm willing to take the exposure. And spread Foster Gamble's videos. Spread all the videos that talk about this problem, reaction, solution, how we're doing it to Iran, and how we're eventually going to be doing it to Syria. If people don't wake up and realize what's going on, then they can try it all they want, but no one's going to support it. Number 2 is do your research to make certain that you understand this. Don't accept what I'm saying. Go out there and research. There's plenty of information. I've left a lot of links on this, the weekly message this week for you to go do your research. And the third thing is don't support leaders being elected this year who will support wars in those countries. So be aware of their agendas, even though they can say that they're not, but then they'll go around and change their mind, which they do. But, just do your due diligence there. So that's the other things that we can do. And finally, there is a galactic perspective to this, but I'm not going to share it. But I will give it to you probably next week so that you understand that the way to stop another world war, which could end in the destruction of our planet, is to understand what we did in the past and make a different decision. So basically, I'm going to give you a cheat sheet. So I'll do that next week. In the meantime, have a great week. Keep the faith. We will get through this. Bye-bye. Did give nothing to the Tin Man that he didn't